Here we go.
You should be watching. Black hole sun, won't you come?
Alright, what's good, people? Sorry for the slight echo. This will only be for this portion of the video. But we're gonna kick this thing off with Black Hole Toys because, you know, there's been a lot of concern in regards to what's going on with third party and the ramifications of this happening to Black Hole Toys. But basically, as you can see on the screen, screenshot from my good man Korea News, Black Hole Toys have been hit with a cease from a foreign company. He's saying it's very likely Shueisha, which, you know, holds the approval for, you know, making of certain products, particularly Dragon Ball, obviously. But in this particular cease and desist type of situation, they also seem to have seized some of their product. So that would be they had planned to re-release the Majin Vegetas, but those products have been seized. So the only Majin Vegetas you can get is whatever's in stock. It won't be restocking. So if you can get it for a good price now it's time to get it. Now, of course, this also happened with the next studio we're gonna get into in a second. LS Studio, but you know, just focusing on Black Hole Toys, that just means that the Majin Vegetas is pretty much done. And you know, I've heard some murmurings here, like it says on the screen, there hasn't been a police arrest. Now I just wanted to talk about that real quick. It still seems to be very unclear whether there's been an arrest, because I've heard that, you know, the head boss of Black Hole Toys, you know, the whoever's the founder of Black Hole Toys got arrested, or I guess you would say the CEO, but that seems to be untrue. And assuming that is untrue, what I think will happen, and why I don't think this is much cause for concern, even though it sucks, I think a lot of the third parties will just lay low, assuming that there's no arrests made. If arrests start getting made, then it might be a little cause for concern. But if, you know, they just cease and desist, and that's all that really comes of it, what's going to happen is like when Kid Buu was first about to come out, and when Kong made those Super Saiyan 3s, I think the third parties will just lay low. Maybe they'll rebrand and come back as a new quote-unquote third-party company, but until then, I think everybody's just gonna lay low. The pre-orders that are up, maybe they'll get it delayed a little bit for the sake of trying to lay low, and then what will ultimately happen is, you know, the releases will start to trickle out again. I think the biggest blow will be to, like, you know, the news aspect of things. I think the news is gonna dry up. Not completely, but it's definitely not going to be as abundant, because like I said, everybody's going to try to lay low. They're going to wait till this thing blows over, so to speak. But let's move on to LS.
Lightspeed Rescue!
So now we're on Korean News' Instagram page. Of course, this is an older post, 4 days ago to be exact. But it says, yesterday on March 12th, LS Studio halted shipping works with the batch of regular products. This particularly, it seems to be for the Gohan Beast that they had planned on releasing, and I could see if they came across this why they would want to, you know, stop this from releasing, because you was getting a whole lot with this particular release. You getting swappable torsos, you getting the base hair, you getting a little bitty pen, even though it's like a static figure, you getting a special beam cannon effect, you getting a whole lot with this. So I'm guessing, you know, of course you would want to stop that. But something also that I've seen people worried about is Bandai going to start cracking down? No. You know, at a point in time when I first was starting this channel and I would deliver news, I would always be like, you know, they haven't made this character because, you know, companies want to stay away from, you know, their baby. Like, for example, Gogeta was one of those characters where I was like, oh, third party's not gonna mess with Gogeta because it seems to be like the baby, like one of their precious characters that they take seriously in terms of, you know, getting money for the product of making that character. But now that I have, you know, more experience, I'm inclined to say that most likely the way Tamashii operates is that they don't really care too much that these companies are making third-party product. It's more or less along the lines of, if it's convenient for us to get you, we'll get you. But Like if we come across a factory, if we get a lead on something, we'll get you. But it doesn't seem like they would go out of. It doesn't seem like they're willing to really go out of their way. They too focused on what they doing. All right, you made some head sculpts. That's cute. You still gotta buy our body molds to use them. You know. All right, you making this new body mold. Whatever. I guess I can't come up with an excuse for that one, but even still, the basis is typically Tamashii, one way or another. So I think it's a Tamashii will get you, or Shueisha, or whomever will get you at their convenience. Not necessarily that they're gonna go out of their way to get everything. But as a third-party company, it would still be smart to play it safe. Either way, that's it on this portion. We're gonna get on to just, you know, the regular old news.
Look at my horse is amazing.
Alright, so now we're on Demoniacal FIT's page, and since I last did one of these roundups, there's been a lot of stuff that Demoniacal FIT has shown. Right here we have the Demoniacal FIT Dragon Blaster. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku, obviously, as you can see, and he comes with this dragon effect part. Now, you know, with Demoniacal FIT, they give you a lot of bang for your buck, so I expect this release to be a really good release just off of that. Now, if they could figure out the hair balancing problem, even better, right? One thing I will say in regards to even connecting it to the beginning portion of this video, it's so interesting to me that Demoniacal FIT, who's probably the most egregious in terms of copying and reusing the molds that Tamashii comes up with, has not had to change their name or nothing. They never had to change the name Demoniacal FIT. It's so interesting. They're the company that do the most one-to-one, you know, copies of a particular mold that they came up with. And I find that so interesting, you know? Very interesting. My conspiracy used to always be that Demoniacal FIT is low-key Tamashii and a third-party mask, or they have some type of deal on the low. I don't know that to be sure, you know, so that don't take that and run away with it. That's just my own conspiracy mind working. But, or maybe perhaps, as my good man Cyrus suggested to me, when it comes to Demoniacal FIT's name, when they go to the, you know, produce their stuff in the factory, they don't even go under the name of Demoniacal FIT and they use an alias there. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But moving on to more figure stuff, right? Here's a very interesting one, to say the least. This is a very highly sought after figure from Tamashii. But here we have Demoniacal FIT seeming to make a promise that they'll make this version, the Genki Matsuri Goku, you know, with the manga colors and whatnot. They're promising that they'll, but you know, potentially drop this. And you know what Demoniacal FIT, they tend to give you more accessories and everything. So this could be a golden, a platinum level release from Demoniacal FIT. Definitely a lifesaver for sure. And I guess while I'm still here, even though this is not an official news video, at the time of recording, it is 7:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and basically Tamashii has announced that on Premium Bandai, this version of Goku, the Genki Matsuri Goku, that Demoniacal FIT is promising to release, or suggesting that they will release, there is a thing that they're doing on Premium Bandai where you have a thing that they have a program where you can enter for a chance to buy it. I'm like, what kind of sneaker raffle type of ish is this? That's crazy. You couldn't just like leave it up for pre-order like a regular Premium Bandai. I had to enter for a chance to get it, and it's 4 minutes now. I'm wondering if I should even like, okay, finish this little segment of the video, you know, go to Premium Bandai for my chance to buy it, and then come back and finish, you know, the rest of the video. But we're gonna continue. We're gonna troop on forward. Maybe at 8 o'clock exact, I'll do it, and then y'all could, yeah, y'all won't even really realize. So here's another thing. So Demoniacal FIT is suggesting that these products right here in this particular carousel post on Instagram, they're gonna re-release. So it says product re-release. Let's say simplified, reduced price coming this year as requested by our distributors, and get ready for a fresh look across all products. New names, new colors, and new facial prints. Interesting. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku definitely in need of a re-release. Zamasu, a definite need for a re-release, but now that Super's coming back, I could see a thing where we do get this as some type of re-release, and then they also do an updated mode. Y'all know how Tamashi does. They'll juice you for all you got, give you the old and busted, as my good man Cyrus would say, and then give you the new hotness. And then of course our quintessential Goku body right here. Well, debatable, but definitely a lot of people would agree to that. We have the Martialist Forever Goku. Now we're gonna scroll up a little bit further, and we have a teaser of Demoniacal FIT doing once again a variant of another limited Goku, as I call him, Goku with the bonnet. But that special edition Goku where he's wearing the bonnet and he has the blue outfit. I've covered it on the channel, especially I think the last video I uploaded. But yeah, we'll wait and see what comes of this, because it's a lot. Okay, that's just a list of things that they really showed off. Okay, so right now we have the Martialist, what are they calling it? Demoniacal FIT Martialist Forever Evolving Combat Rule, be released in March or April of this year. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But especially with just what's been going on, we'll see about that. I'm guessing this will have like a slightly different finish. They have them almost glowing in the render, so we'll see how that comes out. We already know that the base figure is dope. It'll be a nice re-release for people who weren't able to acquire the figure. But what else? Yeah, it's just another picture of the Goku. Okay, they show us the difference between, the Evolving Combat Goku definitely has that more reddish tint to it, like how he appears in the Z anime. The other one is just kind of, the red. I can't even say that's like the manga colors. The manga colors is like a yellow orange, but I guess you could say that's like more manga colors. Either way, y'all get the picture. This new Martialist Forever is gonna be a darker orange for the gi. Now the audacity on Demoniacal FIT right here. They have finally decided to revisit the thought, the idea of a future Gohan. Okay, what are they telling us? The True Warrior has been redesigned using a 4.0, quote-unquote, body mold, and it will launch at an amazingly affordable price, scheduled for release between Q2 and Q3 2026. We'll see about that. Now when and if this does come out, I'm gonna say it's when at this point. They can't pull another stunt like how they did before. But when this does release, we'll see if it actually is between quarter 2 and quarter 3. It's not a whole lot of work they would have to do. They already have the body mold pretty much already done. So we'll see how this all pans out. Of course, you're gonna have the base here, showing you the other accessories that this Gohan comes with. That's a lot of faceplates altogether. The one that comes on in the packaging, altogether, that's what, 9 faceplates and several sets of hands. You get an arm and a Kamehameha effect. That's a dope, and it's gonna be at an affordable price. So when and if this drops, Demoniacal FIT, you're doing your thing. Continue to do your thing. But let's move forward.
Redo!
So with recustoms, as I mentioned before, what happens is you're gonna get like this more pearlescent version of both hairs, and then you'll get a matte version. But as you can see, 6 face plates for each, and this will all come in one kit. So like I said, you'll have the matte version, pearlescent version. We'll go through the pictures. Here we have Grape Juice Vegeta. Another picture of Grape Juice Vegeta on that Black Hole Toys body mold, which is probably gonna go up significantly in price now. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You have this Vegeta, got that Vegeta. As you can see, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta on the Diamond Vegeta mold. Woof, that was bright as hell. Of course, here we have the matte look. Yeah, the matte hair is super dope. Super dope. And yeah, that's pretty much the tail of the tape with this. There's not a whole lot to talk about. This is available on multiple AliExpress stores if you're interested. Oh yeah, and we have direct comparison between the two, Pearlecent and the matte version. Damn, I don't think you could go wrong either way. Either way, I think you're valid, you know? And then there's a teaser right there for Ultra Instinct Goku, also being done by... Wait. Oh yeah, by DKO. I was about to say, Ari Custom's doing Ultra Instinct. We'll cover that in a little bit later on in the video. Here we go, Super Saiyan 3, and that'll do it for the pictures at least. Like I said, link will be in the description. We're gonna head forward. You know, at this point in time, I have no idea how I'm gonna like segue some of these things, because I keep on forgetting different things that came out, like in regards to, for example, DKO and RE Custom. I kept on saying we're gonna move right on from DKO and RE Custom, and now I'm back on DKO X RE Custom. At the very least, it's DKO, but they've been working on everything else together, so I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that this is falls under that same category as the Vegeta head sculpt, Ultra Ego and Super Saiyan 3. Either way, what we have here on the screen, the definitive, in my opinion, Gogeta head sculpt, just based off the render alone. It'll most likely come out exactly how this looks, because that's how RE Customs tend to operate. As you can see, matte version, pearlescent version. I don't think you could go wrong with either, but I just wanted to give y'all a better look right here. And by the way, this was, what was this on? Prime Toy Sources? Prime Toy Source Store. I can't read. And of course, this person right here, I don't feel like pronouncing their name. Wait, that's easy. HMYR. My bad. But either way, Final Tombs of Light, you can see the different faceplates that it comes with. I think the only kind of thing that's kind of weird about this particular release is that the skinny base Gogeta head sculpt is not going to really fit well. It'll be like a nice little prop to have, but it's going to be on the super, you know, muscle bound brolic body when it should be on the skinny emaciated body. Either way, this is looking good. This is actually one of my more anticipated releases personally. Of course, I'll leave pre-orders for this in the description below, and hopefully we're done with recustoms for now. I know I had to definitely double back and do a little something for air, so I guess I'll do that now. So now what we have here is something a little bit different. I figured since I already mentioned it with the Ultra Instinct, I might as well cover it now. There's an Ultra Instinct Goku being teased, a full figure by DKO. And when this was first revealed, this was like crazy. I was like, here we go. The Super content. Everybody's gearing up for Super coming back. And really, this is, once this is made, if this is made, assuming that there's no more, you know, catastrophic newses that comes out. Newses, that's a word, right? But, assuming there's no more, you know, detrimental news that comes out, this is gonna be an excellent release. It'll probably end up being people's figure of the year, especially if the QC is on point. Now we're gonna go through the rest. We're gonna see, and it's showing the range of motion. Look like they combined a bunch of different archetypes of articulation technology for this particular Goku release. It looks like they took some stuff from LPZZ, which has been an absolute juggernaut in terms of making those Batman figures, as well as NR as well, but we're not here for that. It looks like they took articulation from Reveltech, took a little something from Tamashi, took from a lot of different places, so this could end up being an amazing release. Probably one of the best, if not the best, third-party release to date, assuming that everything goes right. Once again, here we have some in-color pictures of what you're going to get with this particular release. As you can see, silver hair, white hair. Okay, that has darker orange. This has the lighter orange. That has the half-ripped Galactic Patrol symbol shirt. This one does not have that. This one has just the shirt being ripped off, and then of course you can see aura effect. Okay, and this one comes with the Kamehameha effect instead of the aura effect. Either way, all this to say, this is shaping up to be very nice, you know? It's not like, this is definitely this is a dope looking release so far. Like I said, assuming nothing goes wrong, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be one to remember. But let's move forward. Oh yeah, before we move forward, in regards to pre-orders for this, did the pre-order? I believe the pre-orders went up, but they may have sold out already. I can't really remember, to be honest. But if I can find the pre-order listings, of course, that'll be in the description as well. Let's move forward. So moving right along with Air Studio and their collaboration with QQ. Never heard of the studio. Maybe it's a alias for another studio. But either way, we have the Ultra Eco Vegeta head sculpt kits, and between this and the next segment, which is going to be the RE custom stuff, you definitely, like, I think I could come up with a definitive choice, but it's really whatever you like more, honestly. And we're gonna go through the pictures. As you can see, you have this more translucent, slightly translucent head sculpt. We have the solid color, and then we have like a really dark grape juice color, you know? Now, here's some promo shots, and like, I can't lie, it looks dope, especially on that black outfit. That looks really dope. But in terms of which one to get, well, we'll see. I think it's just, like I said, it's a matter of preference. And then also, I think the other deciding factor is, if you just want Ultra Ego by itself, then just get this or get one of these, because the other one that's done by Recustoms, which we'll cover in the next segment, provided that I don't forget that I just said this, that comes with the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here. So, you know, if you only want Ultra Ego, then this is the one to get. As you can see on this post, it's in stock. So I'll leave a link in the description for that. But let's move right along to RE Custom. So here, funny enough, we have another Air and QQ Studio collaboration, and this seems to be more of that early Android saga Super Saiyan Vegeta head sculpt, and it looks dope. I know exactly what artwork they're referencing with those crossed arms, but this could come out really dope. I'll keep you guys updated, but as I said, I can see news being a little slow, just off the strength that a lot of these companies want to, you know, play it safe at this point in time. But let's move forward. So what we have here is another, I think, Air Studio prop. I'm not even going to say. I'm just going to put this in its own segment because it's kind of confusing. I've seen something that said it's Air, like under a different name or what have you. Here it's saying it's HM. I'm just going to call them Has for now. But rest assured, probably one of those studios has a hand in making this. But basically, this is the future Gohan. Has 001, has 00, whatever you call it right here. But this is the main idea of what you're getting in the packaging. It's a future Gohan, and of course this was revealed a little bit before the Demoniacal FIT one, but you have two options for future Gohan, and this is printed already, so you know it's coming out. It's actually been posed up, so, and we'll get into that right now. I was going to say in a little bit, but we can get into it right now. So here's another look right here at the Demonic Hawk, or the Demon Hawk as they're calling it, for future Gohan, and it looks really good. Looks about as good as it can look, you know. And this is up for pre-order even as we speak. I think I saw some places where it was actually in stock. Once again, this will be another one where, of course, if I can find it, the links will be in the description to either buy it now or if it's up for pre-order. Sometimes it can be confusing because some of the promo images, I'm like, is this by a fan or from one of the people that work for the studio? But either way, let's move forward. So real quick, we're just gonna look at the Tonson Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and I still think it could use a little bit more bulk, particularly in the torso section. Either way, it's looking good, looking great. This is another figure, of course, people were worried about immediately once they found out what happened with LS Studio and Black Hole Toys. But I think this is on track to release. Once again, I think some stuff will be delayed just because, you know, some of the companies will want to lay low or what have you. But I think this stuff will trickle out, especially since this figure seems to be pretty much done at this point in time. But yeah, we'll just move quickly right along. Okay, right before we move off of Tonson, it seems like Tonson went back and redesigned the head sculpt. It's like very nuanced changes. It's not humongous changes. Like in the bang area, you can see under the one that's labeled new, he has more bangs. And there's, you know, certain hair spikes that are a little bit longer, but it's very nuanced changes that I don't think a lot of people are really going to notice. I don't think it affects the figure very much at all. I think it still looks great either way. But let's move forward for real this time.
It's still a mystery.
Okay, so this is a very mysterious figure that has shown up and we haven't heard too much about it. This was on February 1st. Demonic War. As we can see, this is clearly meant to be a Janemba. And this should not be confused with the Red Leaf Janemba. That went under a different name. And the way this is pixelated up, I'm not trying to get anybody overly hyped, but this could be a future Tonson project, just how they have the figure pixelated up, and then it would be, you know, it would make sense because at this point in time, Tonson has already released their Gogeta figure, so this would be a release that definitely makes sense. I don't know this to be Tonson. I'm going to keep this, you know, as, you know, question mark, but this very well could be. I'm not gonna, but it could also be a new company. Who knows? We have to wait and see what this is. Very little information in regards to this.
Good morning. Good morning.
So here we have the GM Studio Super Saiyan Windswept Goku hair sculpt, and it looks phenomenal. If this comes out and is printed out and looks this great, oh man, we're gonna have a field day. Now we're gonna really look into this head sculpt right here, because it looked awfully familiar when I was looking at GM Studio, and this is just once again my conspiracy mind, so don't mind me, pun intended. Here's some close-up looks at the head sculpt. Oh, very crispy, looks great. Yo, I'm gonna have a picture pop up on the screen at this point in time, right, for either this one or this one. I'm gonna just right from this point right here, just to give myself a marker right here, the picture's gonna pop up. The picture that you should see on the screen is a picture that is actually from the Ari Custom page, and he teased this exact, like the sculpting looks almost identical. Like what you see from Ari Custom looks like an early version of this sculpt. So I wonder if Ari Custom is GM as well. I wonder, you know? There's no telling what goes on behind the scenes with these companies, but I just found that very interesting, you know? But let's move forward. We're going to look at the rest of the pictures. Definitely sculpted very nicely. I'll be very happy once these drop. And once again, as I said many times in the past, especially if you're new here, I think we finally reached that point where, in terms of the head sculpts, it's going to be a matter of preference. All of the head sculpts are sculpted well. It's just going to be a matter of, well, do you like this art style? Oh, you don't? Then maybe that would be more your cup of tea. You feel what I'm saying? But either way, let's move forward.
It's still a mystery.
So right here, what we have is a mysterious render that came out of nowhere. It was dropped, and I don't know anything else about it. What is it? What did I have this file called? Like ZH Lion? You'll see it for the title card right before the segment. But this render showed up, and then that's all we heard about it. It looks cool. Who's doing it? Who knows? This looks still early, so there's some things that can be improved still, but the joints obviously still need to be added. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know who's doing this. I don't know anything. But let's move forward. So now what we have here is some closer looks at some Red Leaf Studio projects by way of Zealous Zenkai, and something like this that you see on the screen is right up my alley. Baby Vegito Black. I like the fan fiction stuff. I like the cool what if stuff, because we would never receive this from official, and honestly, you know, a lot of times I notice I'll be lurking and people be like, oh, why would somebody make this instead of, you know, making something that's actually wanted? Well, motherfucker, you get all of that from Tamashii. All the official stuff, like the stuff from the Dragon Ball movies, stuff that's happening in the main story, all of that will eventually be made. It's just that a lot of fans get infected with that I don't know syndrome. Because you feel like they should have released it by now, people start to panic and be like, oh, if they didn't release it by now, maybe it'll never make it. No, they release it at their own timing. That's just how Tamashii works. And then, as I always say, what do the fans do? Oh, Tamashi's finally listening to us. They was listening the whole time. They just said, all right, we're going to schedule it this way or that way, and we're going to release it when we want to. You know? But either way, let me get off my soapbox, because at the end of the day, collecting is a selfish hobby. You know, what I want to collect is not necessarily what a lot of other people want to collect, and, you know, vice versa. Either way. More baby Vegito black stuff, and as we go through these pictures, you'll see there's actually a fully printed out version of the figure. But briefly, before we, you know, as we move forward, Zealous Zero by Red Leaf, and yes, I was still finding out. Alright, that message is irrelevant. Okay, now time to address some things. So all the haters who said Red Leaf should shut down or should just stop, it's like, alright, that's not what we're here for. But here we get a teaser for Black Frieza. I'm surprised nobody else has jumped on this just yet. But at this point in time, I think I said this in the last video. Or maybe I thought it. I can't really remember. It's been so long since the last news roundup that some of this news might even overlap. I hope that's not the case. Or at least I hope it's not too much of the news overlapping. But either way, what they're saying is... what I was going to say is that if they're going to do Black Frieza, I think it would be... You know, as cool as it is that they're sculpting this from the ground up, perhaps it's best to wait for that new fourth form Frieza to come out first, so maybe you could build off of that, you know? You don't want to release this Frieza with the mold that you have and then get slapped into the dirt by Tamashii, but who knows? With enough polishing, you could make something that's way better than Tamashi's. We'll see. Just more looks at, was this important? What was supposed to be a fun reveal and surprise is turning into a little bit of a dilemma. To those who've been asking, what have been wondering, yes, the Unrelenting Monster. Oh yeah, so Unrelenting Monster, as I understand it, that is Red Leaf's Janemba figure. Supposed to set to be released very soon. Wait, let me start over. What was supposed to be a fun reveal and surprise is turning into a little bit of a dilemma. To those who have been asking and those who have been wondering, yes, Unrelenting Monster is set to release very soon, and I was set to show off some pose shots with it. I still am. Pre-orders were supposed to go up this month. Now with recent events, finding vendors, okay, recent events, once again tying back to the LS Studio stuff, you know, product being seized and whatnot, what have you. This is just saying that there's a delay on, you know, some of the projects or what have you. Here, like I said, a printed out version of it, and it's looking really good. This is right up my alley. I would love this to buy this product. This will probably be one of my favorite figures ever in the collection. Now, the only thing I would say is, of course, you know, this seems to be very preliminary. Just like a little bit more, not even a little bit more of a matte finish on certain parts, and you're golden. You know, and if you can add paint shading, that's even better. What does it say here? A blade fit for a god. Zealous Zero is set to include 2 head sculptures, 5 face carvings, 5 hand gestures, 2 energy effects, sword, and other. I will note this picture is technically old. The studio does tend to go back and change design or aspects that they don't like. Therefore, things are subject to change. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And then we have the Windswept head, which is the other head carving I'm sure that Zealous was referring to. And that does it for this particular segment. We're going to keep on going. And hopefully I don't get to a point where I'm like, oh shit, I covered all of it. And now I don't have a proper ending. But let's move right along. So what we have here is one of 2 companies doing a third party, of course, Goku Black, and Dimensionia Studio. We have this one right here with the more saturated yellow hair and the base hair. As you can see, a crap ton of accessories. You get a skirt piece, interchangeable crossed arms, a bunch of hands, a bunch of faces, 2 scythes. Same thing here, except you don't get the base hair. And of course, it's a different, not a completely different palette color, but you know, the pink isn't nearly as saturated. And of course, like I said, Super Saiyan hair here. And here's another post. What's the difference between these two? Absolutely nothing that I could see. Alright, so okay, more close-up picture. You got some printed out parts, some blurred out hands. This is coming along fairly nicely. Now, of course, as I always say, we don't know until how he as soon as I said that, we come across this. That hair sculpt definitely, I think, could use some work. Not a little work, some work. But it's not the worst thing I've seen. And he seems a little bit more brolic, but I guess in terms of artistic, you know, taste or what have you, or your own artistic input, you could have him be more brolic, you know, more muscle bound. But in the show, he is more slender due to, you know, modern Dragon Ball art style. I guess in the manga he's more lean, but still not super, like, not a lot of huge amount of muscle mass. They're more like very like chiseled and cut up in the manga versus being like super huge muscles, just very lean. Some more pictures and another angle. Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is like I would adjust the hair a little bit, and of course the muscles is whatever. I'm sure some people are like, no, I like the more brolic Goku Black. So we'll see what becomes of this product. And that will do it for this particular studio. Now we're gonna move on to VITOFORGE. Now we have VITOFORGE, and this is not going to be a super long portion of the video. What we have here is going to help us segue into the next portion, which is HM. But this is, of course, meant to be Gohan Black, and the head sculpt is from HM, which we'll cover in a few moments. But VITOFORGE is planning to do a regular Goku Black and, of course, a Gohan Black. There goes the packaging right there. I'm not sure how many copies of this figure actually are going to be made. Like, I know, of course, there's enough to be sold on these different websites, on these different AliExpress shops, but I remember hearing it was going to be like a short print. So I don't know what's up with that. Once again, if I can find some pre-orders for you, I'll link it in the description. If I can't, then I'll be like, I couldn't find any. But this could be pretty good release. We'll see how the articulation is and everything. Whenever it comes to a new studio doing a full figure, it could go either really bad or it could go, you know, fairly well. We'll see. Let's move right along. So we're back on Hyrule's page, and what we have here, like as I promised, the Ultimate Gohan head sculpts from HM. This is definitely available as we speak. It's just a matter of, you know, finding an AliExpress shop that has it. But yeah, you can't go wrong with any of these pictures. This head sculpt, these set of head sculpts from HM in terms of the Ultimate Gohan look phenomenal. Basically your definitive Ultimate Gohan. And also they have a Gohan Black, which that should be fairly easy to find as well. All of that, like I said, all the links for that will be in the description. This was just like a quick look, and I think this is the last segment. This is one time, I'm actually not too sure, but yeah, I'm gonna close out the video anyways. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you guys for pulling up. I know I've been very inconsistent, but you know, as I said in the beginning of the video, got lost on the path of life. What can I say? With that being said, it has been BombasticPlastic. If you're new here, I'm glad to have you on board. If you're old here and you're like, finally, thank you for being patient with me. And until next time, have a blessed day. Peace. So in true bombastic fashion, we have overtime. And what hurts me about this is that this was something this is probably the most hyped third-party thing I've been hyped for, as redundant as that was, because I'm a little sleepy, that I've seen in a while. And Omega Shenron, definitely a figure I've been clamoring for. Now, the only other third party we've seen saying that there was gonna, not even other, the only third party period we've seen that has announced this is what seemed to be some type of subdivision of Kong Studio, Anime Mythos, whatever name you want to use for them. And it was called, what they said, Devil Eyes X Lionheart. And we know that Lionheart definitely is connected to Kong. So I'm definitely looking very much forward to this. Like, I can't say enough. Now, when it said Demon coming, this was posted on 5K Toys. Of course, they took the post down because when it comes to third-party stuff, in regards to Dragon Ball, they don't be leaving the stuff up sometimes. A lot of times, actually. But moving right along, there's something else I want to look at real quick before we depart again, and hopefully for good this time. Beasto! So, very briefly, I wanted to talk about, anime mythos anime, whatever you want to call them. And I wanted to talk about this Goku wave, because this Goku wave was just kind of all over the place. I think the overall mold is pretty good, but what happened with the scaling? Of course, this looks fine, but there's no reason that their Goku should be this much bigger than the official Goku. Now, I know they don't have to, fall in line and do whatever official is doing, but they've been doing that for the most part before. And I know somebody will probably say, well, they were always kind of out of scale from what figure arts, but not like that, not to this extreme with their Goku bodied releases. That's really it I have to say about that. I actually think the head sculpts in this particular wave are great, good to great, but. Or at least, well, some of them, like, it was some yelling faces that I saw. I was like, what are you doing? Clearly, a lot of the love and labor went into, damn, my man got the gorilla arms. But clearly, a lot of the love and the labor went into the Broly aspect. So, Super Saiyan 4 Brolys and whatnot, definitely a lot of the effort went there. But, like this figure, Shred Dead On, this looks pretty good. And like I said, the Ultra Instinct head sculpt and the Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt, I think are pretty good. Super Saiyan Blue head sculpt would be even better, but, with Tamashi's dropping, that's going to be really extra good. So, either way, that's all I have on that. Until next time, this has been BombasticPlastic closing out again. Hopefully, we won't have to close out another time. Hopefully, there's no double overtime, but I think I got everything covered. But I said that many times before. Either way, peace!
Bing bong!
Now we have Jackie Bear, and basically this is just going to be going through his Saiyan Saga Vegeta head sculpts, and it's going to be meant for, if you have the 2.0 molds for the Saiyan Saga Vegeta, pardon me, or if you have that Battle Power 24,000 Vegeta, it'll fit on that, as you can see right here. I think it looks great. Just gonna swipe through all the pictures real quick, because just as I said, gonna try to keep this as rapid fire as possible. And there we have it. On to the next thing.
Bing bong.
Okay, so we're gonna rapid fire this last section of the video because double overtime is crazy, and I refuse to go into triple overtime. So what we have here is the YGMW Vegito, and for this variant, because we already know we got like 4 or 5 variants at this point, this is basically like an upgraded version to your event exclusive Vegito that came out in, what was it, NYCC? It was one of basically the Diddy Oil Vegito, as some people would call it, right? I'm just gonna go through the pictures real quick, but it has that pearlescent finish to the figure. So if you're interested in this, I believe the pre-orders went up, and if you do want to get it, of course, as per usual, will be in the description box. On to the next thing.
Bing bong.
I know earlier in the video I said that the black hole toy stuff was seized, but that was more or less like the Majin Vegeta stuff, which they had planned to re-release. I think I said that anyways. But yeah, we have some Super Saiyan 5 stuff. If you're interested, I believe this is still going for a very, modest price on AliExpress. So I'll have links for that as well. On to the next thing. Okay, real quick. I'm not counting this as triple overtime, so don't even start. But this is the Omni God Goku by Black Hole Toys. This is the kit. It comes with, as you can see, the torso and a ridiculous amount of faces. Too many different faces, to be honest. But yeah, if you're interested in that, that's also still up. Once again, it seems like the main, I'm not saying that they didn't seize anything else, but the main thing that was seized was the Majin Vegetas. Alright, peace.
Bing bong.
And last but certainly not least, we have the KW Perfect Cell. They also had released Cell Juniors, as you can see. And this Perfect Cell, this is from that meme of like how it would look if that thing on top of Cell's head, I guess his crown, was detachable. And that's what you would see under. But this particular release for KW is the anime version, as you can see, and between the joints it has that purple coloring. If it was the manga version, it would be blue. But this it's looking like a solid release. I think the biggest, I would say weakness, Achilles heel for this particular release is the head sculpts. The head sculpts could be definitely refined. Is it terrible? No, not at all. But it's just, it's fine. It's whatever. But with all that being said, we're closing it out for real this time. I don't even care if there's more news. That's just gonna have to go in the next video. Peace.
No, wait, come back!
Okay, what's good, people? This is gonna be actually the last part because I've had a long day, so to speak. But either way, unimportant. This person has made a thread in a third-party collectors chat, or I should say section on, I was about to say Discord, I'm discombobulated right now. Reddit, that's the name. KW Cell is in trouble because they got this, I'm assuming this is a message from whatever AliExpress store that they ordered from. This is a thread by Comprehensive Fox 483. I just wanted to put this forth. If this truly is like a widespread issue, just be mindful of that. Now, somebody did make an interesting point. Exitum. And with the scuffed translation, this could mean that they didn't produce enough and are planning to produce any, and aren't planning to produce any more. So this store didn't receive any stock. Some people in China have it in hand after all. So keep that in mind. It could be just a short stock. And then with the advent of what's been going on that I talked about in the beginning of the video, just be mindful, and sorry for this long video. I mean, some of y'all like it because y'all just put it on and at work and, listen to it. I was about to say bump to it, but I'm not spitting anything and I'm not singing. Either way, have a blessed day, stay positive, and drink some water. Peace.